We continue now at the top of Daf Kufnun Vav Amud Beis Masechet Shabbos. This is Shabbos Daf 156b. The Gemara here is discussing the mazel of Avram Avinu. Avram said, or thought, that he wouldn't be able to have children. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu responds, why do you think that? Dekoy tzedek b'mayrav. Do you think that because Jupiter is in the west? Rashi says, Dekoy tzedek shu mazel shalcha. Tzedek, which is your mazel, Jupiter, which is your mazel, b'mayrav, it's in the west, shu makam mitzunan, it's in a cold area, ve'ein roy laholid, it's an area that you can't have children. Kach matzasi b'hashas Rabbeinu Halevi. That's what I found in the Shas of Rabbeinu Halevi. So in any case, that was the response of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's what you think is preventing you from having children. Mahadrana umukmina le b'mizrach. I will return it instead to the eastern area. Rashi says, b'mizrachu shu makam chom, the place where it's warm. V'hainu dechsiv, and that's the pasuk. What the pasuk means when it says miheir mimizrach tzedek yikreu l'raglo. So l'raglo, Rashi says, means b'shvilo, for Avram Avinu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu put tzedek into the east. The Gemara now continues discussing the issue of mazalos for Yisrael. Is there mazel for Yisrael or not? When we do Shmuel Nami ein mazel li Yisrael, from Shmuel also, from the following story, we can see that Shmuel holds there's no mazel for Yisrael. To Shmuel va'avlet have a yasvi, because Shmuel and Avlet were sitting. Rashi says that Avlet was a chacham who was not Jewish, and he was an astrologer. So they were sitting v'have ka'azli hanuch inshi la'agman. There were a certain set of people who were going into the swamp. They were cutting reeds. Amar le Avlet l'Shmuel. So Avlet said to Shmuel, "Hi Gaver, this particular person, azil v'lo. He's going to go in, but he's not going to come out. He's going to die. Tarik le chivya umayis, because he's going to be bitten by a snake and he will die." Amar le Shmuel. Shmuel said, "Ibar Yisrael, who if he's a Jewish person, azil v'asi, he's going to go in and he's going to come out. He'll be fine." Adiyasvi azil v'asi. So as they were sitting, indeed the person went, and then he came back. He did live. Come Avlet shade latuna. So Avlet got up and he threw the person's bag. Ashkech bechivya de pasik v'shadi betarti guve. He found inside the person's bag a snake which was cut in half. Apparently, while the person was cutting the kanim, while he was cutting the reeds, he cut the snake in half. He was saved. Amar le Shmuel. So Shmuel said, "Maya vadet. What did you do today that you merited to be protected from this mazel of yours?" Amar le said, "Kol yoma havim raminon rifta bahadi hadadi." Every day we divide up the bread with everybody. Everybody brings in a piece of portion of bread, and we divide it up amongst ourselves. V'achlinan, and we eat. Ha'idna havi ikachad minon de lo havale rifta. So he said that today there happened to be one person who didn't bring any bread. Have a komichsif, and he was embarrassed about it. Amina lahu. So I said, Ano koimna varmina. I'll be the one that's going to collect and distribute the bread. Kimatoi legabe. And when I got to his portion, when I got to him, shavoi nafshoi keman deshkili mina. I made it look like as if I had taken his portion from him. Kiechi delo lichsif, so that he wouldn't be embarrassed. I made it look like he had contributed something to the pot. Amar le, so Shmuel said, "Mitzvah avadet, you did a mitzvah." Nafek Shmuel v'darish, and Shmuel went out and he darshened. Utzdaka tatzil mimaves, tzaka saves one from death. V'lo mimisa meshuna, doesn't only save somebody from a strange death. Ella mimisa atzma, it saves somebody from death itself. And with Rabbi Akiva nami in mazel Yisrael, from a story of Rabbi Akiva also, we see that there's no mazel for Yisrael. To Rabbi Akiva havale brata. Rabbi Akiva had a daughter, Amri le Kaldoi. The astrologer said to him, Ahu yoma da'aylo leveginan, on the day that she goes to get married, Tarik lo achivyo misa, she's going to be bit by a snake, she will die. Hava de'igo amil satuva, he was very worried about this matter. Ahu yoma, on that day, shakalta lemachvanta ditsta beguda, she took her pin and she stuck it into the wall. Isrami esiv be'ene dechivya, and it happened to be that it poked the eye of a snake, it killed the snake. And then in the morning when she took out the pin, a snake came out following the pin. It was clear that she had killed the snake. Amar lo avua, so her father said to her, Maya vadet, what did you do again that you merited to be saved in this fashion? Amar le, she said to him, Bepanya asa anya kara, above in the afternoon, a poor person came by the gate, vahavitridi kuli alma v'sudasa, everybody was busy getting the meal ready for the wedding. V'leka deshame, and nobody heard the poor person. Ka'imno, I got up, and shakalti l'ristinoi, diahavisli, I took the portion that you gave to me, and yahivta nehile, I gave it to him. So I gave my portion of food to this ani. Amar lo, so he said to her, mitzvah avadat, you did a mitzvah. Nafik, Rabbi Akiva v'darish, Rabbi Akiva went out and darshened, with tzedakah tatzal mimaves, tzedakah saves a person from death, v'lo mimisa meshuna, not just from a strange death, ella mimisa atzma, it saves a person from death itself. Umid Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak nami ein mazel li Yisrael. The Gemara says that from Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak also we see there's no mazel for Yisrael. The imei de Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, Amri lo Kaldoi, the mother of Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, was told by the astrologers, Brech gan v'havid, that your son is going to be a ganav, meaning your son Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak will be a thief. Lo shavakte giluye reishe, she never allowed him to uncover his head. Amrale, she said to him, Kasi reishach kiechi detahave Allah chemsa deshmaya, cover your head so that you have upon you the fear of heaven. Uboy rachmin, you should always daven. Lo havi yoda amaiko amrale, he had no idea why she was telling this to him. Yom Achad, one day, Yosef Kagaris Tuse Dikla, he was sitting and learning under a palm tree. Nafal Glima me love Reshe, so his garment fell from on top of his head. Whatever was covering his head fell off. Doli Eine, he lifted his eyes. Chazo Ledikla, he saw this date tree. Al me Yitzre, and his Yetzer Hara overcame him. Solik Paske Lekibura Bishin, and he went ahead and he ate a cluster with his teeth. It was not his date tree. He ended up stealing the dates. He realized that he had this Yetzer Hara, and he was saved from it. That was his mazel. The Yetzer Hara was like his mazel, but he was saved from this through covering his head, through davening, and therefore again we see ein mazel Yisrael. The Gemara continues with the Mishnah Mechatchen es hadiluin lifnei habehema v'es hanavel lifnei haklavim. A person's allowed to cut up the gourds in front of an animal or a carcass in front of the kelev, in front of the dogs. The idea is here as follows, according to the Tanna Kama. The idea is even though this item was really prepared for human food before Shabbos, it was muchan la'adam. The rule, according to the Tanna Kama, is muchan la'adam is muchan la'klavim. Something that is set aside as a food for humans can be used on Shabbos to be given to an animal. Example, the case of nevela, this was not a nevela before Shabbos. It was a live animal. It was set to be human food. Then the animal dies, it becomes a nevela. So it's muchan la'adam. The question is it now muchan la'klavim? So that's what we're saying. We're allowed to be mechatzchin the nevela. You're allowed to cut it up before the klavim. The same thing with the gourds. The diluin were really human food before Shabbos. That's what it was set aside for. And the Mishnah is telling us you're allowed to give it to a behema. Rabbi Yehuda says, "Im lo haisa nevela me'er of Shabbos." If it wasn't a nevela before Shabbos, asura, it's asur lefisha eina min amuchan. It's not considered muchan. So Rabbi Yehuda holds muchan la'adam is not considered muchan la'klavim. That is going to be a problem. Rashi here says, "As hadiluin hatzlushin." Of course, these gourds are already detached from the ground. Umiu staman lav l'maichel behema kaimi. But stam, they're not made for animal food. Elu la'adam, they're made for people. Ve'as hanevela shenisnav lo hayom. This, again, it became an avela today on Shabbos. Ubein hashmashos haiso medes la'adam. When Shabbos started, it was set to be human food. Nevertheless, you're allowed to cut it up for the animals. Gemara says Itmar was taught. Amar Ula says halacha Rabbi Yehuda. The halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda, that we're strict in this situation. V'af Rav savar halacha Rabbi Yehuda. Rav also holds the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda mid karchi dezuze. From the case of karchi dezuze, the Rav asar. Rav says it's asar. It's a problem of muksa. Ushmuel shari. Shmuel says it's permitted. Rashi here explains, first of all, Rabbi Shimon de Lesle Muksa. He says the halacha is like Rabbi Shimon that doesn't hold a muksa. We do not have this text that Rashi has. As you can see over here, it says Ushmuel Amar Halacha Rabbi Shimon. We have that in parentheses. Some take it out, but Rashi has that girsa. So the halacha is like Rabbi Shimon who doesn't hold a muksa. Midacharchi dezuzi. What's that case? Machzolos v'asuyos l'sfinos l'chasos pragmatia shebesochen. These are mats that are made for ships, and they cover up the merchandise. Zuze sfinas b'lashon Arami. The word zuze means boats in Aramaic. Kach matzasi b'tshuvas hagaonim. That's what I found in the Tshuvas hagaonim. In any case, these are also items which are not muchan. And what did Rav say? Rav said it's asur. So you see that Rav holds of muksa. Rav holds like Rabbi Yehuda. Shmuel here says shari. Shmuel says it's permitted. V'av Levi savar halacha Rabbi Yehuda. Also Levi holds the halachas like Rabbi Yehuda. Ki had the Levi ki have a maisi treifta lekame b'yom tova. Because Levi, when they used to bring a treif animal in front of him on Yontiv, this animal was not clear that it was treif. It was an animal that Levi was inspecting to see whether it was treif. Lo have a chazila. He wouldn't look at it. He wouldn't inspect it. Ela ki Yosef akil kalisa, unless it was sitting on the garbage heap. Diamar, because he said Dilma lo miskasher, maybe it won't be kosher. Ve'afil leklavim lo chazin, you can't feed it to the animals because it's not muchan leklavim. He holds of muksa, and therefore he would only look at it in the area where it would ultimately stay in the garbage heap. He didn't want to take it. He didn't want to inspect it in a place where you then have to carry it around to feed it because he held it was muksa. He holds like Rabbi Yehuda that there is a problem of muksa. Shmuel Amar halacha Rabbi Shimon. Shmuel holds the halachas like Rabbi Shimon. V'af Zeiri savar halacha Rabbi Shimon. Also Zeiri holds the halachas like Rabbi Shimon. The Tanan we learned in the Mishnah. Behema shemeis. If you have an animal that died, lo yizizena mimakom. You can't move it from its place. This is exactly our case. It's just like our Mishnah where you have a nevela. Question is, can you feed it to the klavim or not? It says the Mishnah seems to say you can't. However, v'tirgama Zeiri interpreted that Mishnah to mean bebehemas kodshim. We're talking about an animal that was a carbon. Aval bechulin shaper dami. But if it would have been an animal that's chulin, not kodshim, you could move it around because Zeiri holds like Rabbi Shimon that there's no problem with muksa. Rashi says, first of all, back by Akil Kalisa, Al Ha'ashba, he only looked at it in the garbage heap, Shem Yirena Treifa Yani Chen Sham, because that way, if it would end up being Treifa, he would just leave it over there. It's not fit for klavim because if it was shechta today, you can't move it around like Rabbi Yehuda says. That's again going like the opinion of that was what Levi held when it came to the treifa. He holds it's not chazi leklavim. This was an animal that was shechted that day, and he was inspecting it to see if it was a treifa. So he held you can't move it around. That's why he only inspected it on the garbage heap. Just to go back to the earlier Rashi, kiavemaisi treifta lekame behema shenolad bas suffik treifas. A behema which you have a suffik whether it's a treifa utzricha lehoras chacham. So they needed to bring it for a horas chacham. They needed to bring it for a psak halacha to find out if it was a problem. And the last Rashi here, Tirgam was Zeiri said that this case over here in the Mishnah, where you're not allowed to move around the behema that died, is talking about when it's kachim, b'meseches beitzu b'behemes kachim, the asura b'hana. We're talking about an animal that was kachim, you can't get any hana, v'lo chazi l'klavim, so you can't give it to the dogs. Hadechulin shaper dami lahachila l'klavim. But if it was an animal that was chulin, it was not kachim, then you could use it, you could feed it to dogs, and that again would go like the Tanakam of our Mishnah, that you're allowed to mimechatchin as hanavela lifnei haklavim. The Gemara then says, V'af Rabbi Yochanan Amar halacha Rabbi Shimon. Even Rabbi Yochanan agrees that the halacha is like Rabbi Shimon. The Gemara says, Umi Amar Rabbi Yochanan Hachi. Does Rabbi Yochanan really say that? V'amar Rabbi Yochanan halacha kastam Mishnah. We know Rabbi Yochanan holds that the halacha is like a stam Mishnah, utanan, and we learned in the Mishnah, and we'll see the continuation of this discussion in the next video on Daf Kuf Nun Zayin Amud Aleph.